Quick tip, so screws, it takes a sharp Chinese screwdriver. The exposed screws, there's 5 of them, and there is 4 underneath each of those rubber anti-slide. And what we want to do is use a tool, be careful not to sharp, and we need to insert it to pry. It's very difficult. The clips, the plastic clips are crazy stiff, so don't go near this door because you are going to break the pins on the doors. Try to insert downwards and try to space the two, so make kind of gap and then work it. What you want to do is go about this way, side, this is the front, side, stop here, then lift the cover and detach this small end, but careful not to break anything. And then you want to kind of have the cover at 45 degrees and sort of wiggle it, and then it's going to detach from the rear. When you put it back in place, it's the same way. Put it first at the rear, 45 degrees about, more or less. Try to engage to clip it down and just lower it like this. Press first at the rear to engage the clips, and then again go all around the sides. Myself, I'm not going to put back the corner screws. There really is no reason for that. And maybe if you want to remove it again, these are the clips, plastic clips, really just all around, very stiff. My camera doesn't like to focus, but they are all around, very stiff. I got a box cutter and just kind of shave a bit of those clips because next time I want it to be easier. Inside here, I did remove my battery. Battery has 1, 2, 3, 4. So careful not to confuse with the screws for the cover again. 1, 2, the one that's recessed here. 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, I put the screw right away back in place so I know where it goes. This is the touchpad connector. I didn't disconnect. Now this is, you need to be careful if you lift the motherboard. This likes to jump off of there, so you have a kind of small tab that just pulls it like this. Careful so you don't pull because it's glue on the motherboard, but when you put it back in place, just lower it, insert, don't force too much because this is plastic measure, is fully inserted, and then we just drop this. It's like a locking piece. So again, this is the movement. Just slide your fingernail and remove the thing again. When you put back in place, make sure this is fully inserted. Mine got disconnected by itself. I didn't have the touchpad, so I got to open again. Now motherboard, let's look for the screws. The motherboard, it's for the ones with shiny surface. So this one is not motherboard, it's body. One, not this one, this is cover. 1, 2, there is, let me see again. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of them. This is the SD card. If you did chop, this just kind of breaks off, falls off from there. If you still have the 2 pins from the side notes, this pin is gone, you cannot replace it. So you have a long pin on one side, a short pin on the other side. Then the spring is difficult for me to show you how to insert it. The flat end goes underneath the stud and the L end goes against this piece. So what you want to do is place the spring on the long pin, insert the long pin first. I think you need to kind of put it flush against this motherboard piece. So insert the long pin first and compress the spring, and then you will be able to lower the other pin to engage it and then let go. So that's how you insert it. Let's see for the other connectors. This one I really this is the worst one. I mean, it's the only one dangerous. What's happening here, we have this plastic piece here, the black one. If you want, it takes a long tool. You need, if you insert your fingernail in the center, it can break into in the center and then I think your computer will go to trash. There is no way to fix this, no way to replace it. So you really need a long flat piece to flip from underneath all along this at the same time, and the same way it goes back in place. You need to press all along along it to fully insert it at once. I think pressing down, you can use your finger, but when you lift it, you really need a sharp long piece that's at least the length, about the length of the piece. That's how you flip it. Pull that, just have a set here. Pull that connector. This one I told, this one just, this is the power adapter. It just clips in place. Yeah, I don't see it right, but you need to just look careful from close, and you need to insert something underneath the cables. Try to grab all the cables and just lift it so it clips in place. Notice my antenna, it says black and white, so read what's here so you don't interchange them. It's better not. This is the clip for the screen. So what we need to do is lift this. You grab this kind of black stuff, or just, you notice there's kind of metal C. You really just need to lift this metal C like this, and then try to push on the metal edges this way to disengage it. So basically, once you lift it, this is the lock piece. So once you lift it, you can just, better not to pull on the cable. I don't like pulling on the cable. Just push on the sides gently once, and coming up. When you put it in place, make sure you align it, push it, and once it's fully inserted, I don't think I can do it one hand. You just need to lower this, and it's going to clip. It's there is a black, no, camera won't focus that much. I think there is a piece here that will just lock this in place. So make sure it's all the way down and it clips in one side. I think the other side also it lowers, but it doesn't clip. Again, the camera, just this one, just grab them like this and pull them up, and make sure when you carefully, when you press them back in place, make sure you center them correctly. This one fine. Is there something else here? Okay, so let's just go for the hinges for the screen. Notice the screen is still in place. Okay, this one for connector for, I think it's audio. Speakers, you just pull it like this with 2 fingers. This is the SD card. Okay, this one's fine. Okay, so if you need to remove the screen, this is the hinges for the screen. 2 screws. I think most screws are the same, but just try to put them separate. Even for the cover, I think it's the same, more or less. No, the cover ones may be different, but the ones for hinges and the one from motherboard appear to be the same. So 2 screws. Careful because they may be tight. I like to grab my screwdriver with the pliers to rotate it sometimes. Don't need to over tighten them back. Notice it's engaging into a guide here. There's one guide, the other one is empty. So you need to remove the 4 screws, and then what you need to do to oh, I forgot to say that this rear trim piece, so this is kind of the rear one, don't touch it, just leave it in place because it's kind of attached to the screen. So it does clip in place there, so when you remove the screen, you need to disengage it here, but it stays with the screen, actually with the screen hinges. You can still remove it, but don't force it. So just don't mind about it. Notice this cable connector for the screen, you need to disengage it from there. It's kind of careful, don't force, but it's kind of stiff in there. So once you remove the screw for the screen, what you want to do is put it on the side and flip the screen. Hold it with your hands because you cannot turn the hinges by your hand. You need to flip the screen from the other side. Put the screen at 45 degrees about, and then you will be able to wiggle this out, and they will just slide out from there. But don't pull the screen from the chassis yet because you have the antenna cables. So this is the white one and this is the black one. Antenna cables are attached to the screen, so obviously you are going to disconnect them from there. Black one, it's pretty obvious, kind of has clips, it's run from there. I don't really put it all the clips back in place. White one, you need to lift the motherboard Again, this is very nasty guy. This wants to disconnect by itself, and you will have the routing. Let me see if I can. Yeah, I did put the antenna, clip them in place. You have the routing for the white cable for antenna, so you need to lift this, maybe flip it on the side, but again at the end make sure you check that connector for the touchpad. So you just remove the cable from antenna, the antenna cable from the clips, and you free it, and then again screen at about 45 degrees. You should be able to slide this out, or just slide off from there. It's, you need to wiggle it quite a bit to play with it, to disengage it from the motherboard. And it's the same way when you put the screen back in place, exact same way. Again, make sure you undo the screen connector from this clip from underneath this kind of S. Screen goes back the same way, about 45 degrees. It's quite a bit of wiggling to remove the screen and put it back in place, slide it in here. But that's how it go. Again, you cannot rotate this 45 degrees by your hands because they're really stiff. You need to open the screen at the other end, kind of make a lever, and with the lever it does rotate normally.